And now we're also recording. So welcome to Unity of the Hill Country's very new on-screen live crazy attempt. But at least this week you can see me, right? I'm going straight into the computer. The computer's going from Zoom to Facebook. And welcome. I see lots of people that I know out there. Let's just take a moment and get centered in prayer. And then I'll try to get back to my slideshow, which actually has some videos and some music and some fun stuff. But we also have Boone Holding, who will be playing some live music on the other end there, if you can see his smiling face. So let's just take a moment and take a deep breath in. And then just slowly release. With that breath, we just become centered and present to this sacred moment, this very new moment, new in so many ways. We open our hearts in gratitude together, our hearts filled with appreciation and love and caring for this community and for this moment and for this opportunity to be present and to be live and just to be working it out. It's all good, it's all God, and it's all love. And for this truth and so much more, we just say thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen. All right, so let me see if I can get back to my slides real quick. Share something. Share something here. Let's see, PowerPoint. Maybe I have too many PowerPoints open. Okay, do we have the screen? Are we good? Do you see the PowerPoint? You see it on yours? Okay, good, good. That's where we want to be. So, welcome to Unity of the Hill Country again, live and just working it out in real time. We're so glad that you're here with us. Unity is a practical path to spiritual living, and we're here to serve. And for some reason, oh, there it went. Okay, our opening statement. There's only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe. God, the good, omnipotent. So a few announcements. I made these announcements last week, but for those of you who weren't here last week, we are creating a virtual community this Sunday morning. We're holding this space at 11 o'clock, but we also are holding a space on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 6 p.m. Metaphysical Mondays, we'll talk about all kinds of metaphysical topics, such as what's the difference between Jesus the Christ, and Christ Jesus. That's kind of a riddle you can work on until Monday. I don't know if that's what we'll talk about Monday, but that's one of the many things we'll talk about from a metaphysical standpoint. Also, Tuesday, Tenderness, is for us to come together and just kind of share realness, share where we are right now in this time of uncertainty. And I'll be offering some practices that we can all participate in and see what we can do to kind of lower our anxiety and to reconnect with that oneness that we are in this world. And then on Wednesday, we'll have Wednesday Wisdom. We had the first one of those last week, and Dave Hubbard came on and shared about Rosicrucianism. And then we had a discussion about that, and he read some writings that were by Clarence Bonham, which is Heidi's late husband. So we'll have something different. I know one of my friends, Rajneesh Gupta, has agreed to come on and talk to us about Hinduism. So we'll have just as many different speakers. I don't want to be the talking head of Unity of the Hill Country on the computer. So we're going to bring in as many other resources as we can. Minister one-on-one, that hasn't gone away just because we can't be face-to-face. I'm going to have Mandy start making some phone calls and find out if you've got an iPhone, we can do FaceTime. it has never been my favorite thing to get on a video chat with anybody, I'll promise you. However, I'm willing to do it. So we want to be able to stay connected and make sure that you know that I'm available by phone, by email, by video chat, whatever it is. And also call in and let Mandy know if you want to be a part of our connection practice, which is signing up to receive and to make phone calls to other people in our community to stay connected. And that's a really important thing to do during this time. I'm trying to make as many connections as I can throughout the week. This last week was a little bit challenging because it was my final week of practicum and interviews, progress interviews for ordination. And that is now complete. So you may applaud in your respective homes. That is done. And so I have a little message from our friend, Tony Fish, who's the chairperson of the Unity Worldwide Ministries and also my mentor.
Good morning. Good morning, Unity in the Hill Country. Good morning, Beverly Pryor, Reverend Beverly Pryor. Wish I could be there with you all in the sanctuary today. Wish we could all be in the sanctuary today, and alas, that's not going to happen today. And I'm so thankful for this technology that allows me to at least be present spiritually with you all. 1, to celebrate the day. 2, to celebrate you as a community. And 3, to celebrate Reverend Beverly Pryor. She has completed a major milestone in her life. This would have been the day that we placed the stole on her shoulders and spoke the words that said, "You are an ordained Unity minister." That can't happen today, and it will happen soon. I know it will. In the meantime, she is an ordained Unity minister. You all have supported her and helped her along the way. She has supported you and helped you on your way. I am so grateful to have been her mentor, to have met all of you, and I will continue to support her and you as we all move through this journey together. And so let us celebrate the day. Let us celebrate a newly ordained Unity minister and an amazing Unity community. God bless you all. Be safe, wash your hands, and have a great day. Namaste. Good.
Okay, that was really a beautiful message from Tony Fish. We really appreciate all that she's done, and she loves this community. She wants to come back and visit us. She's just recently relocated to Minneapolis, so not sure when we'll be able to work that out, but she will be back down to visit us, and whenever we can get back together, we'll have a little ceremony and a celebration, and Reverend Sandra von Gillingham will come over from New Braunfels and support us with that. So right now we want to take a moment in prayer, and you see on the screen the address. You can, if you want to handwrite a note to Silent Unity, the website, if you want to go on and submit, you can always submit on our website, and there's the phone numbers, and they've changed the hours. It's not 24/7 right now. They have people working from home, but there's still plenty of time to get this prayer support that you need. So let me see if I'm able to switch back over. Yeah, can you see me there? So we have the prayer chest here and lovely flowers that were given to me in celebration of the completion of my ordination process by one of our congregants. We have the Christ candle here that represents that Christ within us all in the prayer box. So the prayers that have been submitted online, we capture, and we haven't really had any new prayers submitted in the last week because we've had the building on lockdown, but we want to hold in consciousness whatever prayers you may have on your heart right now. So if you will take a moment and close your eyes and just send your prayer request to the box, out into the universe, and together we will claim our good. So let's take a deep breath in and release. We just release all the busyness and the hurries and the worries of the morning. And with that breath, Breathing in again deeply and releasing. We just drop into this moment, into this time and this space. We become very present with what we know is true in this world, and we know that there's an absolute good working for us all the time. An absolute good, always present, all powerful, all knowing. Even if we don't express our prayers, that absolute good that we know as God is always in service to our highest and best. So for every request, whether it's for health and wholeness, for relationship or finances, every request gets the same resounding yes, 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 my love, yes. And for the truth of this, and for all that we know, and for the gratitude we feel for that Christ presence indwelling in each and every one of us, we say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Okay, switch. Let's see if this switcheroo happens. Sorry for it being a little bit back and forth, but we're doing, uh-oh, that's not the one, is it? Where's the one I want to share? Sorry, you get to hear me whine for a minute. Oh, there we are. Okay, so you know our vision statement is celebrating the divine potential in all, and I've just added a little bit more. Last week I added our world celebrating the divine potential in all, and this week I've added our community and our world celebrating the divine potential in all. Just to put it into perspective, when we're talking about celebrating the divine potential in all, we're not simply talking about our community, we're talking about the entire world. That's our vision. And our mission statement is to live consciously. Right now, living consciously and being in awareness of our choices and everything we do and say is so important, especially when it comes to simple tasks like washing our hands and keeping our social distance and isolating if that's where we are and when that's what we need. We're keeping ourselves not in a fearful consciousness, but in a consciousness of the expectation of good on the other side of this very unique experience that we're all sharing. We don't have to be in fear, we can be in knowing, and knowing that we are we're respecting what's in the universe, and we're also taking the measures to be safe and express our highest and best together. So now we're going to have our daily word reading by the lovely Miss Mandy Scott, and the words are here on the screen, but I will switch back over and allow you to see Mandy. Okay, come on.
Good morning. My name is Mandy Scott, and it is my pleasure to read the Daily Word with you today. We join with millions of daily word readers around the world in receiving this message. The Christ candle is lit, representing the divine nature within us all. And today's daily word is inner peace. I find the peace of God in the silence within me. Could you please repeat the affirmation with me? I find the peace of God in the silence within me. The Hebrew scriptures tell the story of the word of the Lord commanding the prophet Elijah to stand on the mountain before the Lord, where the Lord is about to pass by. As he waits, Elijah fails to find God as he endures a wind strong enough to split mountains, an earthquake, and then a fire. Then Elijah discovers God. In a sound of sheer silence, sometimes chaos surrounds me as I try to find the peace of God. Other times, the chaos may be inside me. I persist in my efforts as I confront inner storms, fires, and earthquakes as I search for peace. Like Elijah, I remain steadfast in faith, undisturbed by what is happening around me. I wait for distractions to pass. Peace is mine. And after the earthquake, a fire, but the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire, a sound of sheer silence. And this is from 1 Kings 19:12. Thank you.
Thank you, Mandy. Didn't you do a great job? So we will be offering you opportunities, those of you who are you're already aware of daily word reading and you've had experience doing that, even Janet Robinson from over in her new home. But you can, we'll be able to switch you back and forth. If you decide you want to do that, let me know, and you'll just need a camera and audio on your computer, and you too can be a daily word reader in our new virtual world of ministry online. So we're just making it happen as best we can. All right, so let's switch back over. That's not the right screen. Here we go. All right. Now, I should have just left it over there. We're going to have special music. Some of you have heard Boone Holding when he's performed here on site, and then some of you have not heard him until today, but he's really a great songwriter and performer, and we're really fortunate to have him with us. And Boone, you can unmute yourself and go ahead and share. Okay, I unmuted you. Unmute me.
Hey, y'all, how y'all doing? Congratulations, Beverly. That's really incredible. Great accomplishment to you. And good job, Mandy. You did great. I'm happy to see everybody, those I can see or can't see. Happy to be here. And it's weird times we live in, but if I could say one thing to anybody and everybody, I'd say today's a great day to smile. That's for sure. This song is called Fades Away, and I wrote this when I was in my younger years, in my 20s somewhere, and I was just kind of contemplating life. So mute me if it's bad, okay? What is love, and why do we try? What is this life, and why must we die? Been working so hard for minimum pay. In time, they say, it all fades away. The light bulb invention, it lit up a storm. A wood-burning stove could keep a house warm. A shelter to hide, a safe place to lay. In time, they say, it all fades away. You know what? Memories last as long as they will. Inside a mind that cannot be filled with things still connected through all shades of gray. In time, they say, it all fades away. The mountains we climb, they're not high enough. We seem content with more and more stuff. Stuff means nothing, and nothing will stay. In the time, they say, all fades away. Spend your time high, fueled up or drunk, then wonder why your ship just sunk. Are these footprints in the sands of today? The time, they say, all fades away. You know, love them ones that you love to the core. Try and restore what you're living for. A peace of mind, y'all. This is all I can pray. In time, they say, it won't fade away. Maybe it won't. Maybe it will. Who knows? But keep the joy in your heart. Keep living for a good sense of purpose. That's all I can say. It all fades away. Thank y'all for listening. I appreciate that very much. I will mute myself. Back to Beverly, and congrats again, Beverly.
Thank you, Boone. That was great. Thank you so much. I know it's really hard to play to a computer instead of a live audience. So thank you so much for being with us. It really adds a nice dimension to, just this whole new experience that we're having together. So let's see where we're going back to now. There we are. I know you guys were applauding at home for Boone. And I'm trying to get the slides to advance now that we're back on. Oh, there we go. So in preparation for meditation, you can sing along with this at home, or you can just listen to Karen Drucker, Breathe.
Breathe.
Facebook.
The sound is off.
Yeah, just one moment, please. I'm sorry about that. I just realized we were not streaming to Facebook. So I didn't realize I couldn't do two things at one time. Just keep breathing. Well, the live on Facebook is taking up a little too much of our bandwidth here. So we're going to have to abandon that and just come back to sharing here. Okay, so now that we've been breathing together, let's just sit comfortably in our chair, or however you are at home. You may be lying down on your back. Sitting in your chair, just uncross your hands or feet, set aside anything that may be distracting you, and give yourself a moment to just settle in. And together, let's take a deep breath in and release. Just letting that breath return to a normal rhythm. Breathing in your own casual way. Just bring your attention to your breath. Just notice as your breath is entering and returning from your body. Are you breathing shallowly up in your chest area? Watch for the rising and falling of the breath. Are you expanding it a little bit deeper now? Are you bringing it all the way down to your belly? Just allow your attention to rest on the breath. The breath connects us mind, body, and spirit. It also connects us one with another. With Josh and Mandy here in this room, and all of you out there participating in this moment. It also connects us broader, expands us out. The breath allows us to put our love out into the world. Our conscious breathing, our conscious knowing of the love that we are in this world. We know through our understanding of that Christ nature within each and every one of us, that when we breathe, we set our intention, and we live consciously to be love in this world, we make a difference. In these trying times, it's so important to remember who we are. It's so important to remember our place in this world as love. Now breathing in gratitude and breathing out love to the entire world. Let's move into a time of silence. And together we take a deep breath in and slowly release, and we return from that silence with that knowing, with that connection, with that heart filled with love. And we just simply say, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen.
Oh, Father,
just like you do, as we sing. We never hunger. We're not afraid. Oh Lord, keep us from evil's way. For yours is the power, and yours is the
So our topic today is trust and transformation. We have a lot of experiences in our life that lead us to moments of transformation. Sometimes they're chaotic, sometimes they're intentional. Over the past month, we've been talking about Joseph Campbell's outline of the hero's journey. We've been talking about what it's like to be called to an adventure, and sometimes we refuse at first. We're not sure that we're capable. We have questions, we have doubts, we have insecurities. And then along the way, we face trials where we find dark shadows of ourselves and that we project out into the world. But transformation comes from developing new attitudes and beliefs and behaviors. And it moves us into a new level of normal. And we're really dealing with that right now as we're sequestered at home. Many people are struggling right now with the isolation. Many people are having a great time because the introverts of us in the world who like to sit around with a pile of books are really enjoying it. But then there are people who are extroverts, and it really is shaking them to the core to be separated. That's one reason that we have been creating all these online opportunities and experiences to come together. But even if you are an introvert and you love that time alone, you could be feeling some insecurity. You may be feeling a little bit like your ground is shaking because your world is so different. We're in the process of creating a new world together. And we don't have any idea right now what that might look like, how we might come out on the other side of it. And for some people, it's creating a great deal of anxiety, but it's not to minimize it because it's a real thing. And that's why we have Tenderness Tuesday or Tuesday Tenderness, where we can come together and talk about these feelings and to share ways that we're coping. But we're moving through a journey that is part of the human experience. It's part of who we are to be going through this journey and to be going through these doubts and these questions. It's a part of being a human being. We've come here to go through this experience. And then we come out of it on the other side, depending on our choices and what we do to take care of ourselves. But we come out of it on the other side from a whole new perspective. I mean, look at it, what we're doing this morning with this online presentation. Last week, we threw it together between Thursday and Sunday, and we had a lot of little moments where there was dead space, and you couldn't really see the screen, and you certainly couldn't see my face. And we've made some adaptations, and we're learning on the fly. But who knows what might come out of this ongoing for our community as far as communication. And I know a lot of people this week have engaged with Mark Scott and Josh Russell and even Mandy Scott here in the office, and they are learning how to get on the computer and how to be a part of the Zoom meeting. And it was easy for people to jump on Facebook last week. I'm not really sure that our feed, last week we had 2 different devices. We had the iPad set up to go to Facebook Live, and then we had the laptop going to Zoom, and we used this integration feature today, and I'm not quite sure that that was coming together the way that we trialed it. We did do some test runs during the week, but we're taking these challenges and we're developing a new way of being. We're going from an unknown world to a new form of the known world, a new place for us to be together and to experience. Transformation is one of those things, it comes to us, like I said, either intentionally or unintentionally, but it's often seen as the outward form or appearance. But we know transformation is not just something you can see. Often transformation is something that comes from within, and you have changes in awareness and choices and understanding and beliefs. You see the synonyms at the bottom: alchemize. In Unity, we talk about alchemy as being a very important spiritual experience, because you're taking something, if you remember the old terms of alchemy, trying to turn any metal into gold, you're taking what your experience is and wanting to come out of it on the other side with something new and something better and something more positive. This is what we usually think of as transformation, right? This is actor Jonah Hill, and he was the character that was always the sidekick, the guy, and put that effort into physically transforming. But we all know that what happens when you do these physical transformations and they're on the surface, and I'm not speaking to Josh particularly right now, I'm just saying overall, when you have an outward transformation but you're not doing the inner work, it's hard to maintain, because you haven't brought your soul, your consciousness, your belief systems along with you on this journey, when you're only working on the outside, only working on what can be seen. But when you do your inner work, it can be maintained. We'd see this with lots of lottery winners. They've never had money before. They were never managing the money they had. And then they get a bunch of money and they spend it all because they don't really take the time to do the inner work and change their perspective from being someone who struggles to being someone with resources. But we all have to change our way of looking at ourselves. I know a lot of people, one of my brothers told me one time that he still felt like the kid with the Coke bottle glasses. And, he was in his 50s at that point. And that's a long time. We all carry those images and those ideas with us, those archetypes, as Joseph Campbell would say. And once we're aware of them is when we can make a choice to have a different experience of that. We can honor that we did have that feeling, we had that experience, and we can put it into perspective as to who we are now. This happens in nature just naturally. The caterpillar doesn't have to go to a workshop or a retreat or do some self-care work to know when it's time to begin to make a change, to go through a metamorphosis and to begin to go within. But I love this idea. This photo is beautiful for one thing, but it's this idea of it represents what we're doing right now with being, keeping our social distance and some very much isolating, that we're going within, we're bringing up that protective layer on the outside, not from fear, but as a part of this transformation process, as a part of knowing that we're in metamorphosis. And so if you see the progression and you see on the far right, the caterpillar has created a chrysalis. But if you also see in this image just little faint hints of wings beginning to form, isn't that beautiful? It's just amazing to get a close-up look at something like that. You'd never really see what it's telling you already about the outcome. And we have these clues in our life. We can look around and see what's possible and what's coming and how are we unfolding in this moment. And if you're having anxiety and fear, get the support that you need. Come to our Tuesday gathering or come to all of our gatherings. Show up, interact, speak to positive people who are going to encourage you. Be intentional and try not to get yourself involved in these conversations that just focus on the fear. If you catch yourself doing that, you're a human being with dominion over yourself, and you can make a choice to change the conversation into something more positive. And thinking about this chrysalis on the right, just imagine yourself in there beginning to make changes. Khalil Gibran says, pain is the breaking of the shell that encloses your understanding. So sometimes when we're going through the fear and anxiety, the pain that we're creating is just part of breaking through that shell, allowing ourselves. We shouldn't be ashamed or reject the fear and anxiety. We need to honor it. We need to give it compassion. We need to give that love to ourselves without indulging it. You know, there's that fine line of being present with fear and anxiety and feelings that we don't necessarily feel are the highest and in our best interest, but also to know that we can move through it and to honor it and give it compassion because it's real and it's present within us. So we don't want to reject it and push it away. But what we come to eventually, you see this is a different species, but still from the chrysalis, we begin to see the emergence of the butterfly. Now you see the wing actually taking color and creating its own perfection and its own beauty. That's not necessarily the same caterpillar. So those of you who are entomologist, then you might be saying, oh, Beverly, that caterpillar would not come out as that butterfly. And that's probably true because these are just pictures that I thought were beautiful. But the point is, we are the same as this butterfly. We're in process all the time. We're never stationary. So even though we're in the middle of this changing times, we have this beautiful butterfly experience that is coming to us as we embrace our transformation, as we embrace what there is in this opportunity for us. And it's rich with opportunity. I know you've all, you're on social media and you're participating and you see how many wonderful stories and the good that's coming out of the human beings who are helping one another. So there are reasons that people resist change. And this is based on a book by the former chief editor of the Harvard Business Review, Rosabeth Moss-Kanter, and she's written a book called Think Outside the Building. And I like this in particular because that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're thinking outside the building. Our building is not our community. We have a beautiful campus and we love being here. We love coming together, but it's not who we are as a community. And so we think outside the building right now and create new ways to come together. But we know that some people are resisting the change, resisting coming online or resisting staying involved because there's so much uncertainty right now. It just, that hunker down mentality goes beyond staying home. Hunkering down can become a new normal. And we don't want to go that far to where we've created our life in a new normal of being the hunker downers. We want to do what we need to do and respect what we're dealing with in the moment. And we also want to find the beauty in it. I see a lot of people posting, they got out on a nature walk and there was no one else there, but it was beautiful to get out in nature. I did that yesterday myself with a few friends, and not close friends. We weren't holding hands or walking arm in arm, but we went together to go and experience nature, because that's beautiful. You can do that with still maintaining your social distancing and still being respectful of the environment that we're dealing with right now. But sometimes we worry. This is one concern about competence. That's something I've been dealing with over the last week, because I didn't really have time. I've had this last week was all of the finishing up of the ordination, as you all saw earlier, that Tony Fish acknowledged. That was a full week of meetings and interviews and a lot of, but then I'm like, oh, well, we did the best we could last week with our presentation online and being available. We wanted to be available. We couldn't stop putting ourselves out there just because we weren't quite ready with the technology. So we're hopefully this is a little bit better experience for you this week, and we'll continue to evolve and to learn more things about the technology that's available to us. But the concern about competency can sometimes just shut us down. It can make us not even try. And so it has that ripple effect in our life. From one thing, we take that stance in, and then before you know it, we're just frozen. And you might have had those periods of time in your life. I know I have. And sometimes the threat is real, right? Change is going to put us outside of our comfort zone every time. And outside of our comfort zone is the green growing edge of life. It's where the human experience gets rich. But sometimes we have this idea that, you get out of school and you get a partner and you get a house and you settle down. And that whole idea of settling down kind of makes us feel like we're just going into some sort of stasis, some sort of, frozen mode. But that's not how life is. Life continues to change and give us new opportunities to learn and embrace new ideas. And that's the richness of life. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live for can be," what? I'm sorry, I'm not reading that very well. He who has a why to live for can bear almost any how. So the how right now is changing. How are we living? Are we isolating? Are we able to go out to the grocery store? Are we able to find toilet paper? But when we have a why to live for, the how is temporary, and we know we'll make it through. And we know we'll come out on the other side. Maybe we don't need as many things in our life as we thought we had to have. Maybe through this connection practice that we're making available, maybe you make new connections and expand your friends to the point where, that some relationships that weren't working so well, you feel you can let go of. Who knows what kind of evolution and transformation and metamorphosis your life will take. So what are your whys for going to church and being a part of a spiritual community? This is a 2018 Pew Research study of almost 5,000 people. And you can see, I'm not going to go through all 10 points, but the number one is to become closer with God. And community definitely gives us that opportunity, because we connect with one another, we reflect back, and we mirror to one another that beauty of the Christ within and that presence of God in all of us. But you can also do that in your solitude and in your time of isolation. You can slow down and bring that awareness to yourself with practices. And also the comfort that you get in times of sorrow. It's not the same to hold a hand, to get a hug, to look someone eye to eye, as it is to FaceTime or to keep updated on Facebook or to Zoom in. There are limitations to technology as far as the connections are concerned, but they're better than no connection at all. You can see someone's expression. You can hear the lilt of their voice. I was not a big FaceTime user, I promise you, but I'm trying to get myself out of my comfort zone and do that because it lets someone see me and I see them and we can smile at one another. A smile is a huge connection. And you can do that when you do, the limited times you do get out and go to the grocery store and pick up some food through the drive-through. All of those opportunities are an opportunity to connect with a human being face to face through something as simple as a smile. And you can remain part of a community by getting involved, by going outside your comfort zone and engaging with us in this virtual world. For as long as we have to do this, we will continue to show up and to be present and give you opportunities to connect with us. And then who knows, when we come out on the other side of it and we can come back together face to face, who knows what kind of new aspects of our community we will have formed through all this opportunity. So again, let me just emphasize our virtual community opportunities, and we're also in development of some additional ones. I've been talking to an author out of Dallas about doing a virtual book launch and reading of her brand new book. They had to cancel her book launch due to the virus activity in Dallas. But we also have a book study that's in development here locally on spiritual economics. And then again, these three, Metaphysical Mondays. This is the time for us to talk about metaphysical topics. Tuesday, just to get together and talk about how we might be feeling a little bit tenderly these days. And then Wednesday, wisdom is just up for grabs. We can explore wisdom in poetry, wisdom in other religions, any kind of way that wisdom comes to us in the world. I'm excited about it. I really appreciate Dave Hubbard kicking us off last week. So in Romans 12:2, the Bible tells us, do not be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds, so that you may discern what is the will of God and what is good and acceptable and perfect. Be transformed through your mind. Yes, there's a lot going on right now and a lot to take in, but guard your mind. Don't spend all day on media about, get informed, go to the CDC website, get the most current information, but don't get yourself down the rabbit hole of everybody who has an opinion about what's going on. So your weekly practice for this week is embrace change. So we're in time of change. It's, many would say chaos for sure, but be still and breathe and give yourself time to observe and notice. And then see what unfolds. See what unfolds in you and in your life. Look for the butterfly experience. So I'm going to switch back over and share, and we will hear from Mr. Boone Holding again.
Love the butterfly analogy. That's beautiful. That's a really good way to think about it. This song is called Grow Your Own. I wrote this again. This is one of the first songs. I can't remember what the first one I ever wrote was, but this was up there. And I was in my garden a lot of years ago, and I got tired of working in the garden, and it was hot outside, so I went and grabbed a guitar, and I came up with this song. And I feel like it's always slightly relevant, but when we go through difficult times, for me at least, this one's relevant. And it doesn't matter what you do with your life, whether you're a farmer or an accountant or an ordained minister or anything else. It's always a good opportunity to grow your own, to figure out what makes your life move and tick, and just grow from there. And that's what this song was about. So I hope it makes sense to you. If not, again, I'm sorry, you can mute me out, okay? But thank y'all for listening. This was very beautiful, Beverly, and it really helps to kind of close the eyes and breathe a little bit. I know it's something that it's easy to forget. Got another couple 100 feet of earth to turn in this Texas heat. It looks pretty, I don't feel well. I've got some peas to shell with this sun and these tools. I feel like a real fool. It's a poor man's trade, the pay it shows. Every time the cool breeze blows. Oh, here it comes again. Grow your own. I planted onions in the fall. The springtime harvest will come to call. When watermelon is half the size, this won't come as no surprise. The pole beans are heading up the corn. A friendship was just born. I'll sow the squash right below. The natives' ideas still grow. Grow your own. Whatever that means to you. So it was kind of difficult when I was writing the song. I started to think, not everybody likes to sit out here in the hot sun and grow vegetables. So you've got to write something that can kind of transform, kind of transform the meaning to help people see what this could mean to them. And I thought about how watching these plants grow from a little seed and giving them the love and care and nurture that they deserve, and watching them turn into something special was something that we all do. It's kind of like that butterfly analogy, we're all just moving and growing and producing something beautiful in life. So I came up with this last verse, and I hope it makes sense to you. You can go ahead and dwell on the past. A lifespan's gonna fly by so fast. Close your eyes and now you're 10 years older once again. You can close your heart and there goes hate. It builds itself inside your fate. No way. If I'm not dead, I don't have time to hang my head. It's that time again. Grow your own. Keep going, keep growing. We're all going to come out of this better. I know it. I know a lot of great, good people, tough people, and tough times breed tough people. So keep on going. Thank you, Beverly. I really appreciate the time. Keep it growing. Thank y'all very much.
Thank you, Boone.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Okay. Well, we're wrapping up here. We ran a little long with the technical challenges, but I appreciate you all so much. I'm going to go back to my presentation. We're completely virtual now, and Mandy's been working hard with one of these third-party companies trying to get our donate button on our website. There's some kind of challenge with it. I'm still not sure what the situation is, but many of you have been mailing in your tithes and offerings and coming by and dropping them off. She will open the door for that, nothing else but that. But I really want you to know how much I appreciate your commitment to this community. This is your community, and your support means everything to us. So let's just take a moment, and whatever you decide to send in, or whatever you have, even if you're not sending anything in, but we encourage you to do that. Just know divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I send it forth with my blessings and my love. So we will now close out with our prayer of protection.
The
we hope to see you next week virtually, of course, and tell a friend if you'd like. We'll keep getting better at this. But I'm going to open up the lines if you want to have a virtual reception, if you want to talk to one another, if you want to talk with me or with Mandy. I'm just going to open it up to all participants and unmute everyone. Hi, guys.
Hi, am I on?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hi, Patsy.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
It was a wonderful service today.
Well, thank you. At least you can see me this week, right? Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Boone, for being with us.
Very well done. Very well done.
Loved
We're
your
figuring-
music, Boone.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Hi, Donna.
Hi,
Yeah,
Janet Robinson. Hi, Donna Robinson.
Hi, Bev.
Hi.
Hello.
I see Hetty got on. You know, you can look in the chat screen and see who all managed to get online today. I think we were about 20 at one point on this medium, but unfortunately, I don't think we were able to get on Facebook.
So, Bev, are you a full minister?
Here we go.
Yes, now I am ordained. I'm full.
First part of the service. So, what a blessing. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. It's been a journey, and I appreciate all the support from everyone.
Well, we got us a real rev now.
Well, they made me a real rev last summer, but the ordination
Annette,
part's just the
Jack Porter,
icing on the cake, I
Janet
guess.
Robinson, Donna Robinson, Carol Price.
So anyway, thank you all for being here. Somebody's in the chat. Let's see. Hi, Annette. Greetings, everyone. Thank you for your congratulations, Annette.
Congratulations, Beverly.
Thank you,
Not
Jack.
gonna be here apparently because that's Stu. He said he was going to be here.
Patsy, we can hear ya.
Hey.
Well, thank you all. If you have any feedback, of course, we're totally welcoming that. We're evolving. I think we got better than last week, and hopefully next week we'll get better than that. Jack, I have some funny pictures to show you how we've kind of literally taped things together.
Okay, you show me later.
I'm not joking.
Oh.
To secure all
Okay.
of our little, yes, I'll send you. We're just making it work. Oh, I better stop the recording.